If there's one thing for certain on any old BMW, regardless of the mileage, regardless of the condition, it's the fact that it is going to want some maintenance. Right here, I have a table full of maintenance items. I have a 72,000 mile 535i, and today we're going to mechanically perfect and bring this E34 up to date in maintenance. In the last episode, I introduced the 72,000 mile all original 535i, and we went through and we pretty much perfected the interior and exterior cosmetics and all the functions. Now the car is absolutely beautiful. It drives great, runs great. However, despite the fact that it's operating fine, my guess is that being low mileage and stored most of its life, most of the items on this table have probably never been addressed, and I think it would be a good idea to address them. So we're doing a few random things on this car. We're going to start with the front brakes. One of the few issues the car has is some vibrating front rotors. So I got new rotors, new pads, pad wear sensor, and then we are going to do a brake fluid flush on all 4 calipers. Then we are going to do the cooling system overhaul. So I have a water pump, a thermostat somewhere, and then some fresh coolant and radiator hoses and other coolant hoses. We have to do an air filter, of course. We have to do a cap, a rotor, spark plugs, and then we're going to do a valve cover gasket and, of course, oil spray bar bolts and a valve adjustment. So that is in short the list we have in store for today. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, whatever, and let's get into it. I would like to start today's video with my least favorite part of the video, which is going to be the brake stuff, because I hate brake fluid. So to start, car's up in the air, we got the wheels off. Now we're going to drain the brake fluid out of here, and you can see through the plastic it is black. So my guess is it's never ever been done before. Ooh, yeah, that's watery. It smells awful as well. The car stopped pretty good though, so I mean, it's still doing its job. And with that now, we can head underneath the car, start replacing our front rotors and pads. There's actually decent pad life left. The rotors really aren't bad, but the fact that they vibrate leads me to think they're somehow warped. So we'll unplug our pad wear sensor. Wow, the rotor came right off. That's nice. No pounding necessary. Yeah, these pads got a ton of life. There's no way these are original. Wheel bearing, good. Okay, and then connection in the holder there, clip, and there we have it. Now we can get to the brake bleeding, the fun part. So I got my pressure bleeder here, and we're gonna install it, pump it up, get it to about 15 PSI. That's what I like to set the pressure bleeder to. Holding pressure, so now we'll go and start bleeding each caliper. You want to start furthest away from the master, so we're going to start passenger rear. Uh-oh. Well, the list just got bigger because if we open up this bleeder, nothing comes out. And you know what that means? It means we have a collapsed soft line. Should have been doing the brake lines anyway. I guess this is just my punishment for not doing it. So we will pick up this job when I have new soft lines here. All right, so we had a dilemma that has been solved. Remember in one video when I said hoarding pays off? Well, it really does. I have these nearly brand new brake hoses that I pulled off of a parts car. They were just replaced. So they're only a couple years old, and I got them all on hand. Yeah, some micro cracks in it. It actually doesn't look that bad, though it is from 1988. So new line going in. All right, this one is done. Now we will rinse and repeat. Front, more or less the same process. Line comes up to right here, goes into the hard line, goes into the caliper. It slots into the coil or the knuckle, spindle, whatever. Oh, easy. In with the new. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we? So I just bled the other side really quick, and this is the side that was problematic. Is it still problematic? Yes, it is. Okay, so it is the upper line that is collapsed. Wow, that's annoying. Ooh! Look at that nasty stuff. Oh my. Brown. Yeah, this has to be flushed for a little while until this gets clear. There we go, it's starting to get lighter. Oh yeah, same story here. Nasty. Okay, brakes are done. Time to move on. Now we're gonna go into the engine bay and do pretty much everything else. So I'm just gonna start tearing all these front components down because we gotta get to the water pump thermostat, we gotta get to the valve cover, we gotta get to the hoses, everything. So we're just gonna start kind of tearing everything apart here. That's not bad at all. Fun of this is gonna be seeing if anything and everything that we touch has ever been replaced before. I'm thinking most things probably have not been, but you never know. Oh, just ripped the breather hose. Dang it. These have never been off. Oh my God. Ah, 88, baby. Fan clutch is original. I'm gonna start the bet, so we're gonna play a bet of everything I pull off. Is it original or has it been serviced? I'm gonna make my bet now and say everything's original that we touch. I think the belts have been replaced though, because these look pretty new. And I don't think gates would have been original. And they're not cracked, so. Belts don't have to be done, that's cool. One thing we don't have to do. But now you'll see that I didn't buy a fan clutch, and I'll have you note that fan clutches are the one thing out of all these parts, a lot of parts have gone way downhill. In my 8 years of dealing with these cars in a more serious manner, more times than not have new fan clutches completely failed me. So if this works and this car doesn't overheat at idle, I am not replacing this. The fan, I should. I don't think I bought one. I don't think I have one. But yeah, the blades, yes. Clutch, if it works, and I'm keeping it on there. A lot of the quality of these things, and you'll see because I bet you the cap and rotor are original and the car runs good. Quality is not what it used to be. Certainly is coolant. There we go. Looks like it had a little blockage. It had some crud in there, I guess. I know that this is original because it still has the Cosmoline on it that they spray on the engine bay, which is all this yellowish stuff, if you guys were wondering. So this has that on it, which means I know it's the original hose. This has been replaced. This actually looks pretty new. I'm probably just gonna keep using it. This hose runs under the manifold all the way back into the heater valve. My bucket was not in place for that. You know what's weird? I always remember there being a gasket here. And I've gone through lengths to find that gasket and replace it. And I know I have replaced it on these engines before. Yet most of them don't have it because there is the O-ring. So I can't remember why some of them have it, some don't. It is a Motorrad, Germany. Doesn't say BMW, so I would say that this has been replaced. Hey, there we go. What year are you? 2009. Oh, that's not too bad at all. This thing's been serviced. 2009, that's not that old for a water pump. I've certainly seen older. Oh, 17 years old. Is that right? 2009 was 17 years ago? God, that's crazy. So, yeah, that's actually a lot older than I thought. 2009 feels like yesterday in my head, but I guess I forgot that I'm an old man these days. Bets are all in. No more bets. 1988, baby. Woo! Original cap, and it looks oh my God. And this car ran. I really don't understand what makes a cap and rotor run versus not, because I promise I've seen worse than this, or I've seen better than this not run. The fact that this car ran, holy crap. It's 1988, yep. That's the cap, the rotor arm. Dude, that looks horrible. I mean, I really am surprised that this car ran. So now I have the water pump housing all cleaned up. So I got the RTV on both the block and on the water pump. I got a brand new gasket here. Hand tight, let the RTV cure up. So we're gonna do the fuel filter now while we're doing messy things underneath the car that I don't enjoy. I bet this filter's original though. Made in West Germany, baby. Whoa, wait, West Germany, this is a 1988? When did the Berlin Wall fall? I thought it was 87 or 86. 88, whoa. Another West Germany fuel filter for my collection. Anytime I pull off a West Germany fuel filter on a BMW, I like to keep it, because talk about history. 2388, brand new fuel filter from 2025. And I also replaced the hose that goes right here because it's short and easily accessible. The one that goes up to the sending unit is a little more of a pain. I don't want to do it, and it doesn't show any signs of needing to be done. Fuel filter is done. Now we can start pretty much putting all this stuff back together. I'm gonna start here with the engine lift bracket. Time for the thermostat. So the one that was in it was working. However, come to find out, it is an 82 degrees C thermostat. I have here a 75 degrees C thermostat, which I think suits the M30 much better than 82. 82 is a 180 degree thermostat, so that means this is 82 to 75, like 170 maybe, something around there. I think that's just better off for these things. These things will take all the cooling they can get. Arrow facing up, fresh thermostat. Pull these on. Hoses I'm going to leave off until we do the valve adjustment, because I got to spin the engine over, so they'll just be in my way. Next up on our list here, we're going to go ahead and do the valve adjustment, or inspect the valves at least, and our spray bar. Just because I have everything off of the front still, so I can twist it over by hand without anything in the way, or at least minimal things in the way. Ooh, that's a nice looking valve train. Very clean. Let's see. Tight, loose. Oh my goodness. You cannot catch a break. These rear spray bar bolts are just constantly loose on these engines. It's unbelievable. I'm not sure why it's always the rear one either. You'd think, is the rear one experiencing more harmonics than the front? You know, I don't know. It's an interesting question. Time for the reinstall. So we got our fresh banjos, one underneath, one on top. And then I have thread locker on both of these with everything brake cleaned and dried. And these are really easy to over tighten. So the torque spec on them is very low, but even then with a torque wrench, because of the fact that there's oil, and that's why you want to clean these out as best you can, it's easy to over tighten them. So you got to be very, very careful. So I like to just take a 3/8 and grip it at the top of the handle, not at the bottom. We don't need that much leverage. And then just kind of get them in. I like to go until, you know, it puts up a fight in gripping the ratchet about here. All the way here, you're gonna over tighten them. It is a very not that tight of a torque. So fray bars are good. Let's get into the valve adjustment. Now again, I've showed it in so many videos. I do so many M30s on this channel, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with the details. Spin the engine, get the cam lobe so it's facing down towards the block. That's the one you adjust. Loosen the 10mm eccentric. Adjust the eccentric with a little Allen key so you get about 0.09 on the cam side. I like to do cam side, not on the eccentric itself. It's just a better reading, trick of the trade. So 0.009. This one's in spec right now, or the engine's at the right spot. So we could see 0.09 feels, 0.009 millimeters feels way loose. 0.011 fits in there. So yeah, this one is a bit excessive. Okay, we'll start the adjustment now. I'll show you guys one, and then I'm gonna rip through these. This thing's probably never had a valve adjustment done. It doesn't look like anyone's ever been in here. So we're gonna take the eccentric with an Allen key in the little hole and rotate it until the 0.09 fits. It's kind of tight. Hold it there. .011 no longer fits. 0.010 does not fit. 009 in and out. Beautiful. All right, that's our first one done. So that is the procedure. Now I'm gonna go through, crank over the engine. Denso W16. These are old. I don't know if these would be original Denso. I'm not sure. Burning good though. Here is our beautiful spark plugs, burning very nicely, but these are pretty old. Ready to put our valve cover back on. Valve adjustments wrapped up. Got RTV there at the timing cover where it meets the head. Fresh gasket going in. All right, I'm gonna let that RTV set for a little bit and then we'll tighten that down. So for spark plugs, I got ZGR5As. These are recommended NGKs. You gotta take the top off of them to expose the threaded part for the coils. And then I checked the gap, 0.7 to 0.8 millimeters is the gap. So I checked them all. They were all within spec, but not bad idea to just check them anyway. Tighten her down. So I ripped this rock hard breather. I got a nice pliable one here. We'll slap that on. Time for our new cap and rotor. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to put the lower radiator hose back on. Going to feed on the upper hose now. I'm just going to go like this, up in here. All right, it's on in the back. Well, let's give it a test fire and see how it sounds. It's got to be able to feel the pressure. Oh yeah. It's beautiful. Sounds amazing. Oh yeah. Smooth. Beautiful. I just want you guys to know that I lost the drain plug on the radiator and I spent 2 hours today pacing around looking for it. No clue where it went. I had to go home and get a replacement one from a different radiator. So now we can continue and we can fill it up with coolant. Or just spill it. Got to open the bleeder. There we go. And there you can see the coolant coming out of the bleeder. Allow the bubbles to come out. All right, close that up. And then heat on full blast. And now we'll just let her run, monitor everything, make sure we got no leaks. We are up to temp, holding right in the middle. We have hot heat, hoses feel good, no leaks. That is great news. So I do have to put the clutch fan on, but we can shut her down now and get this thing on the ground because it is done. All right, so after it gets to temp, I like to crack this just once, just a little bit. And there you go. And there we have a mechanically perfected 535. Fully up to date on service, running beautifully, driving beautifully, and looking absolutely beautiful. This is truly the nicest 535 I believe I've ever gotten my hands on. Actually, I know that for a fact. But that concludes that. So I know we didn't get to really go drive it, but weather's not so good, so it's gonna be staying here in the shop. And actually, this thing is getting a manual swap. So I have found a new owner for this car, and he wants it manual swapped, so I'm gonna be manual swapping it. Probably won't film it. I think that'd be a little repetitive. I've done a few of those now, and it will really slow me down. So what you see is what you get. This car will be a manual very, very soon, and that's a wrap on that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to get this beautiful 535 into the hands of a loving home. Sometimes not everything's for me. Sometimes I'm simply the vessel to bring the best cars to the best owners, and I have fun in finding them, and I have fun in making them perfect. So it's all around fun for me, even if I don't get to keep it. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.